I didn't raise you to be no liar for nobody, for no, and for no female. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes, Mom.
You tell these officers everything. Don't you hide nothing back, because that man got kids and he can't see his kids no more.
That was the reality for 24-year-old Chanel Walker. Inside a cold interrogation room, her mother's voice trembled, urging her to stop hiding the secret that had been tearing her apart. Chanel wasn't just a witness. She was the keeper of a confession that could finally solve the brutal murder of 58-year-old U.S. serviceman Tony Mosby, who was shot dead while on duty in 2019. Every second, the pressure grew heavier, family, justice, and truth all hanging on her words. Would Chanel finally break her silence? Or would protecting the killer cost everything?
You tell them everything, word for word, what happened, how it was set up, what was done. Tell them the truth. Do you hear what I'm saying?
Yes.
His family need closure. Do you hear what I'm saying? Tell them the truth.
It was around 2 a.m. on February 19, 2018, when a quiet night in Dallas turned into tragedy. Near downtown, a passerby spotted something alarming and called 911. A U.S. serviceman had been shot while driving, and his Postal Service truck sat damaged on the side of Interstate 30.
Dallas 911.
Yes, I need paramedics and police. I'm at 30 eastbound. I need somebody here real quick.
What's going on there?
Someone has shot a driver. This is the Postal Service. There's a postal vehicle here. I don't know if he's still breathing, but there's a gunshot through the front windshield. Oh, man.
When first responders arrived, they found 58-year-old Tony Mosby behind the wheel, already dead from a gunshot wound to the head.
We learned that one of our motor vehicle service drivers was shot and killed while he was in the course of his duties on I-30.
His truck had crashed into a guardrail, its windshield shattered by multiple bullets. Tony had worked for the Postal Service for 14 years and was a father of 2 daughters. Because he was killed while on duty, the case immediately became federal, and the FBI stepped in.
When a postal employee is murdered, we, as a federal agency, have federal jurisdiction. We take that very seriously and we pull out all the stops.
Detectives faced a difficult start. There were no eyewitnesses, no suspects, and very few clues. Investigators began piecing together a timeline. Surveillance from a nearby gas station showed Tony's truck shortly before he entered I-30. Another camera from a home security doorbell captured 4 gunshots minutes later. The big questions now loomed. Was Tony targeted, followed, and killed on purpose? Or was this a random act of violence? Even after 20 hours of intense work, detectives were left with more questions than answers. Detectives working Tony Mosby's case were stuck. There were no witnesses, no suspects, and no clear trail to follow. With the investigation stalling, they decided to raise the stakes. A reward of $50,000 was announced for anyone who could provide information leading to the killer.
The United States Postal Service is now offering $50,000 as a reward for any information about a shooting that killed one of its employees.
The message was clear. This case was a top priority. That move soon paid off. Just 2 days later, on February 21, 2018, a woman named Jessica Thompson stepped forward with information so shocking, it would completely shift the direction of the case.
Today's date is February 21st, 2018. Time is 11:48. Jessica, my name is Derek Cheney. I'm with the Dallas Police Department.
And I'm Paul Ecker with the U.S. Postal Inspection Service. We really appreciate you stepping up and doing the right thing and being here, okay?
Okay.
You're not under custody.
Right.
You're not in custody, and you're free to leave at any point. So all this is voluntary information that you're providing, yes? No one's threatening you or anything to that effect? Okay.
She admitted she hadn't just heard about the crime. She was there when it happened. Jessica explained that on the night of February 18th, she and her boyfriend were at a hotel when his cousin, Donnie Farrell, and Donnie's girlfriend, Chanel, met up with them. The 4 went out for dinner and then to a bar, staying until about 1:30 in the morning.
We decided that we were going to go to a bar and shoot some pool.
What happened?
We then left and went to CJ's Billards. We were there roughly until about 1:30. After that, we tried to go back to the hotel. Chanel was driving.
Okay.
Donnie was in the passenger seat.
Okay.
There was a U.S. postal truck in front of us. She was driving very close to this truck.
On the drive back, Chanel was behind the wheel, Donnie in the passenger seat, and Jessica in the back. Up ahead was a U.S. postal truck. Jessica recalled how Chanel drove too close to the vehicle, trying to pass.
She then swerved over to go around him. We passed up this U.S. postal truck. According to Donnie, the driver of that truck flipped us off. When I looked to the right, and the gun that Donnie had was sticking out to my side of the window.
Okay. How did he position his body?
He kind of leaned out a little bit to where his head and his right arm was sticking out of the window. I had heard it go off.
How many shots did you hear?
Roughly about 3.
And all 3 shots came from the gun that you saw Donnie's hold?
Correct.
Do you have your phone now?
Yes,
Could you show me a picture of him?
I sure can.
The driver reacted with a rude hand gesture, which immediately escalated the situation. Donnie leaned out of the window with a silver revolver in his hand. Jessica heard about 3 gunshots ring out, one of which killed Tony Mosby instantly.
Drop the gun for me.
Looked like a revolver, but kind of like a newer revolver, not one of those.
You know what color?
Silver.
She also revealed that after the shooting, Donnie messaged her and her boyfriend telling them to keep quiet. Jessica later confirmed the revolver he used matched the type of bullets recovered from the scene.
And she said that gun was a revolver. And so now we have an idea if this projectile comes back to a gun that is a revolver. Now we could say that this is a possible bullet from the gun that was used to kill the victim.
Armed with her testimony, detectives finally had enough evidence to issue an arrest warrant for 25-year-old Donnie Orlando Farrell, a man with a record of past misdemeanor arrests. Detectives finally closed in on their suspect, 25-year-old Donnie Orlando Farrell, tracking him to the home of his fiancée, 24-year-old Chanel Walker, in Hutchins, Texas. But what should have been a simple arrest quickly spiraled into chaos. As officers arrived, Donnie stepped outside with a gun, spotted law enforcement, and bolted back inside, sparking a tense standoff.
Out on surveillance, they saw Mr. Farrell exit the residence with a weapon in his hand. Mr. Farrell saw the agents and ran back in the house, and we then had a barricade situation.
Tactical units surrounded the house while negotiators tried to make contact. Eventually, Chanel and her family were persuaded to leave safely, but Donnie stayed barricaded and defiant. Meanwhile, investigators turned their attention to Chanel, bringing her in for questioning.
When I went up into the interview room with her, my main objective was to build a rapport with her. Her boyfriend was now barricaded inside that residence. I know there was some worry for her, but we want to make sure that she understands when you're not truthful, it can draw some questions about your involvement as well.
At first, she claimed Donnie had been driving the night of the shooting because she was too drunk, but detectives already knew from Jessica Thompson that she had been behind the wheel.
Well,
I hope so.
So, Chanel, I'm working this case, and your name came up in my investigation. Like I told you before, when I told you out there, I'm looking at you as a witness, okay? But at the same time, I need you to be perfectly honest with me about everything. Yes. I'm talking about start to finish. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to feed you no fried ice cream. I'm going to be 100% with you, okay? So, will you be honest with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Cornered, Chanel admitted Donnie fired shots from the passenger seat, ignoring her pleas to stop, moments before the postal truck crashed. Even as she shared these details, it was clear Chanel was still holding back.
Me and Donnie, we was at home.
Now, what is Donnie's name?
Donnie Farrell Jr.
Okay. And who is he to you?
My fiance. He had texted his cousin and asked what they were doing. They said they probably want to go shoot pool or whatever. So we found a pool hall that closed like at 2, and we was like, okay, we're just gonna go there and shoot pool.
Mm-hmm. What time y'all leave the pool hall?
I think it was about close to 2 or at 2. At this point, he's driving because I was too intoxicated to drive, and I didn't want to wreck or do nothing. So I think we went home.
Okay, and that was it. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Detectives noticed her hesitations whenever they asked about the other vehicle or what exactly led Donnie to pull the trigger. She claimed she was drunk, distracted, and not paying attention to what was happening around them. But the investigators sensed she knew more than she was admitting.
When we left the pool hall, We was on the freeway. And I was drunk and I was driving. And he was on the passenger side. And he was like, babe, can I let off? And I was like, no. What? I was like, no, Donnie, what the did I tell you about doing stupid stuff like that? But he did it anyway.
When you said let it off, what did he did he shoot his gun or what?
Yeah, he shot his gun.
And what did he do? Show me what he did. Where is he sitting at?
He's sitting in the passenger side.
Right, I'm him. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm him. Okay. So he's right here. Well, you go ahead and be right here, and I'm gonna sit right here. Okay. So you driving? You on the highway? Yeah. Okay. Who's on the highway with you guys? What's in front of you? What's around you?
I don't know what.
Detectives brought in Chanel's mother, hoping her words would break through. Sitting across from her daughter, she spoke with tough love, reminding Chanel that a man had died and his family deserved the truth. She urged her to stop protecting Donnie and think about her own child, insisting she hadn't raised her to lie. Overcome with emotion, Chanel finally confessed. She admitted driving that night while Donnie, drunk and furious, fired at the postal truck after claiming the driver flipped him off. Through tears, she described her shock, guilt, and grief for the innocent family left behind.
I really wasn't paying attention.
Okay, let's remember. Let's be honest with each other. Okay.
I am.
You driving. I'm you. I'm driving. Okay, and you're him. How did he do it?
I guess he just put it out the window.
He did. He used his right hand.
And
he just.
And I guess he just like shot. Yeah.
All right. Was there anybody around?
Chanel's story matched almost exactly with what detectives had already heard from Jessica Thompson, and that gave investigators the confirmation they had been waiting for. Both women described the same chilling scene. Donnie leaning out of the car window, firing his revolver, and the postal truck swerving right after the shots.
I really was intoxicated. I really don't know what all was said and how it was said. I can only tell you what I remember from that night and Saturday. My mom had asked me what happened.
When did she ask you what happened?
When we were outside. And we were waiting, and we've been trying to call him to get him to come outside.
All right, so that's when your mom's asking you to what happened, stuff like that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second, okay?
Yes, sir.
It tied witness accounts to the physical evidence perfectly. Chanel admitted she and Donnie had been together since November, that he had even proposed to her on Christmas Eve, and through tears she revealed she might be pregnant.
And for no female. You hear what I'm saying? You tell these officers everything. You got a freaking son you gotta think about. Do you hear what I'm saying? You tell them every single thing, Beijing. Don't you hide nothing back. Because that man got kids and he can't see his kids no more. If that was you or your daddy or your brothers or something, you would want somebody to tell the truth. His family need closure. Do you hear what I'm saying?
It was clear she was torn between love and the truth, but her honesty gave detectives the missing link to understand how an ordinary night spiraled into tragedy. With Jessica's and Chanel's testimonies, the pieces finally fit. Donnie's reckless act had ended the life of a hard-working postal worker and father of two, and now detectives had what they needed to hold him accountable.
I need to know, Chanel. Okay. What happened?
I was driving, and I think the only truck or the only vehicle I seen on the highway was the mail truck. And I wasn't paying attention to if he was cutting me off or not, or kept jumping in front of me. So Donnie was like, he keep cutting us off or whatever. And he said that he gave us the finger. But I didn't know, I didn't see it. And like I said, I didn't see him with the gun in his hand, but I heard it go off. And that's when...
After hours of difficult questioning with Chanel, detectives finally got the break they had been waiting for.
But you had no idea?
No, sir, I didn't. Because when he asked me, can he fire off, it just asked me, to me, that was asking me, can he just shoot his gun off, like to try to show, I guess, because his cousin and the cousin girlfriend was in a car with us. So that's how I took it as. But I still told him no, because I don't like him doing that. And now this happened.
Okay. All right. Give me 1 second, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Donnie Farrell, the prime suspect in the federal manhunt, had surrendered. There was no chase, no violence, just a quiet walk into custody. But that silence wasn't calm. It carried the weight of a man who knew the truth was closing in on him. When Donnie sat in the interrogation room, investigators understood this was their chance.
I need to talk to you, okay? All right. You all right with that? So, what's your name, man?
Donnie Farrell.
Donnie, okay. Where you from?
Where I'm from?
Yeah.
Where I was born?
Yeah.
Los Angeles, California. I was born in West Covina, California.
You from LA?
Yeah, I grew up in LA.
Okay, cool.
They needed to gain his trust, break through his guarded walls, and get him to talk. The detective started slowly, easing him into conversation, asking about his background, his relationship with Chanel, and even the possibility of a baby on the way.
What do you call it? You call it Chanel? Okay, yeah. So you love him?
I love her to death.
That's what I'm talking about. Love her to death. All right. How long did it take y'all to be boyfriend and girlfriend?
I'm gonna say about a week and a half. It was kind of like love at first sight, you know.
Oh, so you when you saw her, you said I ain't down.
I just knew the presence was strong.
Right. You got a baby on the way, possibility, right?
Mm-hmm. And a 4-year-old stepson.
And you got a 4-year-old stepson.
Donnie opened up a little, speaking about love and family. But the detectives were waiting for the real answers, the ones tied to a man's death.
In this case, I know you were there, okay? I know you were there, and I know really what happened, but I want to help me understand, okay, what happened, Mark. And like I told you before, everybody make mistakes. No, you made plenty of mistakes. I made plenty of mistakes, all right? But at the end of the day, as men, okay, we own up to what we've done, right? And we move on, all right? All right, so on the way from the pool hall, where did y'all go?
When the subject shifted to the night of the shooting, Donnie didn't deny being there. Instead, he claimed he had been too drunk to remember much, insisting everything felt like a blur. Detectives knew he was holding back. His story didn't match what they already uncovered, and it was only a matter of time before his version of events began to unravel.
You didn't? Okay. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna be straightforward with you, man. And like I have been the whole time. I know there was more to this case. I ain't lied to you from the day one. When I came in, I hadn't been mean to you. Any time I've been straight, respectful to you, right?
You seem like a straightforward.
Yeah.
Man.
I've been working this case and got a lot of information. You see what I'm saying? And that's why I need you to be real honest with me, because I'd rather for me to tell your own story than me to have to tell your story. I know you're not a cold-blooded killer.
Detectives knew time was running out. After hours of questioning, they needed Donnie Farrell to stop hiding behind half-truths and finally admit what happened on that deadly night. He had denied pulling the trigger again and again, insisting he had nothing to do with Tony Mosby's death.
All right? I know you're not. I know you're not a cold-blooded killer. Are you a cold-blooded killer?
No, I'm not a killer.
I know that there was an incident where an individual may have been cutting you guys off. I don't know if he made a gesture towards you, flipped you off or whatever, but at that point in time, you had a gun on you. Did you mean to kill him?
But the evidence told a different story, and investigators were ready to push harder. They started carefully, reminding Donnie that they didn't see him as a ruthless killer, but as a young man who had made a mistake. They wanted him to believe there was still room to explain himself, to take responsibility before it was too late.
I've spoken with Chanel, right? I've spoken with Jessica. I've spoken with these folks. You see what I'm saying? And you the last one left. I know you fired at that guy. I know you fired at the vehicle that he was in, all right? You think we just showed up at your house and picked you out of all these millions of folk? You think we did that? Just out of random, we say, hey, we're gonna mess with old Donnie Jr. today. You think we did that? No, that ain't the way it works. You see what I'm saying? You're a young man. You got your whole life ahead of you. All right?
Bit by bit, they pulled him back to the moment on the highway when Mosby's postal truck ended up in front of their car. Investigators suggested what they already knew. The truck may have cut them off, maybe even flashed a rude gesture. At that point, Donnie had a gun with him.
But I need to know what happened. Did he make you that angry? Or was it just an accident?
I was faded.
You was faded?
I was real like,
The gun How long you owned the gun?
I ain't owned it that long. It was not even mine. It was given to me.
It was given to you. Who gave it to you?
Some guy.
Really? How? What kind of gun is it?
The only reason I had it, to be honest with you, being honest, because I was working at 7-Eleven. That's why it was given to me.
Was it anger? Was it an accident? Did he really mean to take a man's life? Donnie stayed on the defensive, repeating that he had been drinking heavily and could barely remember anything. His version was that he was too drunk, too out of it, to know what happened. But the detectives weren't buying it.
Did you mean to do it?
No, I didn't.
Were you just trying to scare him, or what was?
That was like my main intention.
Was it just because you thought he was trying to cut you off, or what was it?
No, I mean, at the same time, look, I ain't trying to make no excuses. You know, I did what I did.
Yeah.
Gotta face the consequences. But I was intoxicated. Like I said, I was so faded, man, like my eyes were barely open.
Okay. All right, give me 1 second. All right.
They reminded him that they had already spoken to Jessica Thompson and others who were there that night. Donnie was the last piece of the puzzle, and his name hadn't come out of thin air. He was identified for a reason. The more they leaned in, the more he struggled to maintain his story. Eventually, Donnie admitted he did have the gun, though he insisted it wasn't even his. He claimed it had been given to him for protection because of his job, and he carried it only for safety. That explanation did little to help him. What mattered was what he had done with it. Detectives pressed harder, telling Donnie the truth he didn't want to hear.
So, okay, Kurt, we right here. All right, so I'm Chanel driving. All right. So, what was we're asking? When y'all getting on the ramp, what happened?
I don't know. I was faded.
Okay,
I don't know nothing about how we got on.
Okay, but you know how you shot. How did you shot? Which hand did you use to shoot?
My right.
So how did you?
Tony Mosby had been an innocent man, working late into the night, simply doing his job when the bullets came through his windshield. He didn't deserve to die on duty, and Donnie needed to face that reality. At first, Donnie repeated the same excuse. He hadn't meant to kill anyone. He said he was intoxicated, barely able to keep his eyes open. He tried to claim he had just fired into the air without even looking, that it wasn't intentional. It was a calculated attempt to soften the crime, to make it sound like a reckless mistake instead of a deliberate act.
And you pulled the trigger? And you say you emptied it out?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you had to look back.
I did not. I was so faded.
It couldn't have been a way. Now that I'm thinking about it.
The truth. I just wanted that.
Because the information I got, you saw what you were doing. You shooting like this. Be straightforward.
I'm being straightforward. I'm like that.
To shoot like this, all right, and to be that accurate, done.
I'm telling you the truth.
The detectives knew better. The shot that killed Mosby was too precise to be random. It was aimed, not wild. They pushed Donnie to explain exactly how he held the gun, how he fired, how close they were to the postal truck. Slowly, his walls began to crack.
I'm asking you these things for a reason, because like I say, I've talked to a lot of people, all right? The way you said that you did this, all right, that's not going to be believable. You know these rooms were recorded, you know what I mean? You got people that's watching this video.
And I did like this.
You did what? Like what?
I did like that.
After over an hour of back and forth, Donnie finally admitted the truth. He hadn't been firing into the air at all. He had looked, aimed, and pulled the trigger. The anger came from the moment Chanel tried to pass the postal truck, and Mosby responded with a hand gesture that set Donnie off. Drunk, angry, and reckless, Donnie leaned out the window and fired.
You did?
Yeah.
You weren't looking straight.
No, I did like this.
You did like that? And the main reason why you shot the gun and you look back like that is because of what?
I was intoxicated and he tried to cut us off. He did cut us off.
So you pissed off about that?
Yeah, he flipped us off.
And he gave you the finger? And that pissed you off?
Yeah.
And that's why you shot?
So like, where is this tape going to be shown at court?
Oh yeah. I mean, this is all a part of the investigation. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, yeah, I did.
For the first time, he admitted what detectives already knew. He had deliberately shot at the truck. And one of those bullets struck Tony Mosby in the head, killing him instantly. With that confession, the weight of reality settled in the interrogation room.
We set the foundation where he could talk and made him comfortable. And that way he felt as if he could talk to me. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest with you, you're gonna be charged with murder tonight, okay?
Well, let me ask you straight up, man. Like, you tell me I'm young, I got my whole life ahead of me. I made this mistake. How long you think it ain't gonna get me?
You know, I don't know. I don't make those decisions. I'm not gonna lie to you.
What kind of murder is it?
It's murder.
It's murder?
Yeah.
Donnie asked the questions he had been avoiding from the start. What kind of charge would he face? How much time he could get? What this meant for his future? The detective didn't sugarcoat it. This was murder. There would be no way around it. The act was over. The excuses, the denials, the half-remembered stories, all of it collapsed under the truth he could no longer hide. Donnie Farrell was arrested and charged with the murder of Tony Mosby, the 58-year-old postal worker who had spent 14 years in service and left behind 2 daughters. What began as a night of drinking and reckless choices ended in tragedy for a hard-working father and a life-altering decision for a young man who chose to pull the trigger. In the end, Donnie's confession didn't bring Tony Mosby back, but it finally gave investigators the closure they had fought so hard to achieve. He finally admitted the truth. He was the one responsible for the senseless killing. Donnie Farrell was arrested and charged with second-degree murder for taking the life of Tony Mosby, a United States postal worker. He was also charged with firing the weapon used in the crime. After spending months in custody, Donnie appeared in court. In February 2019, he entered a guilty plea, accepting responsibility for the shooting.
I honestly think that his ego got the best of him that night that led up to the victim's death. Once you pull that trigger, you have to take ownership, knowing that that bullet can come out that gun, and if it hits someone, it can kill somebody.
It wasn't until September 4th, 2019, 19 long months after the crime, that his sentence was handed down. Donnie Farrell was given 30 years in federal prison. He won't even be considered for parole until 2043. The case revealed a harsh truth. One reckless decision fueled by pride and ego cost an innocent man his life. The court ruled that justice had been served, but for Tony Mosby's family, no punishment could ever truly balance the loss. 30 years might sound heavy, but they believe it's not enough.
Do I feel as if justice was served? I don't. He only got 30 years in prison. He'll still get to walk free on this earth where my uncle couldn't anymore because he took his life away.
Donnie will one day walk free, while Tony never will. This story is a chilling reminder of how one moment can change everything forever. For more true crime stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss what's coming next.